We call it public schooling, but that's just a euphemism for government indoctrination. And it's adept at rooting out individuality and enforcing collective compliance. In his book, Understanding Power, Noam Chomsky writes, in fact, the whole educational and professional training system is a very elaborate filter which just weeds out people who are too independent, who think for themselves, and who don't know how to be submissive. Because they're dysfunctional to the institutions. It's like we talk about all the time. With the government, up is down is up, black is white, in is out, and right is wrong. This filtering process begins very early in a child's schooling as conformity is rewarded and divergence is punished. See, public schooling breeds obedient drones and tax cattle servants. Most of us played this game as school children. We know the rules. The kids who raise their hands, color in the lines, and obey succeed. The kids who challenge the rules struggle. The problem now is that the rules are extended beyond the classroom. Parents are increasingly required to obey, to conform to a school's demands even if they believe such orders may not be appropriate for their child. Advocacy groups who work with homeschooling families across the country frequently hear stories from parents who decide to homeschool their kids because schools were pressuring them to comply with various special education plans, as well as push medications onto their children or make them submit to other restrictive procedures they felt were not in their child's best interest. Even more sobering is the growing trend of school officials to unleash child protective services on parents, homeschooling or not, who refuse to give in to a district's demands. And I'm telling you guys, once you sign on the dotted line and plug your child into the system, there are so many strings attached and getting them out, it'd make your head spin. It can be done, but be warned. They have and will weaponize child protective services. An investigative report released last month revealed that schools are increasingly using child protective services as a weapon against parents. It said, quote, fed up with what they see as obstinate parents who don't agree to special education services for their child or disruptive kids who make learning difficult, schools sometimes use the threat of a child protection investigation to strong-arm parents into complying with the school's wishes or transferring their child to a new school. That approach is not only improper, but it can be devastating for families, even if the allegations are ultimately determined to be unfounded. What's more troubling is that these threats disproportionately target low-income and minority parents. According to the report, these families have fewer resources to fight back. When a family in a wealthy Brooklyn neighborhood learned roughly 2 years ago that their child's school had initiated a child services investigation against them, they sued the city's education department. Parents from lower income minority Black and Latino neighborhoods, few of whom can afford that option, say that investigations can be a regular, even expected part of parenting. For parents who are unhappy with their child's school and decide to withdraw their child for homeschooling, threats of child welfare investigations can sometimes turn into actions. In Massachusetts, a mother is reportedly suing the Worcester Public Schools after school officials called the Massachusetts Department of Children and Families on her for alleged educational neglect. Even though the mother can prove that she dutifully filed her homeschooling paperwork for her 8-year-old son mid-year. Brian Husky, a public high school teacher and homeschooling father in New York, noted a similar case last year with one of his students. Dissatisfied with the school, the parents decided to remove their daughter from the district, filed the necessary homeschooling paperwork, and were soon visited by Child Protective Services investigating educational neglect. Husky detailed the incident in his blog, writing that the school made a decision to weaponize CPS against a district family. Parents who push back against the district's recommendations or withdraw their child from school for homeschooling are often trying to ensure their child's well-being. Questioning various educational interventions and examining alternatives is part of a parent's job. They should be praised for looking out for the child's best interest. Besides, it's none of the school board's business what you do with your child. Just like it's none of the government's business what you own, who you talk to, or where you go. If some of us have grown acquiescent to power due to successful indoctrination, it can be hard to challenge authority. It can be even harder when that authority is strengthened by government force and when we may not have the resources to fight it. Supporting parents, broadening their educational choices, and respecting their decisions are critical steps in liberating families and curbing government coercion. And let's put things in a real-world perspective. When your child attends a government indoctrination program, not only is he being taught to submit to illegitimate and immoral authorities just because those so-called authorities say so, not only is he likely to not get the education you want him to have, not only is he going to be subjected to the political correct nonsense that all government programs invariably bow to, while your child is at school, he might as well be a fish in a barrel as he's spending 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, in one of the most deadly zones on American soil, a gun-free zone. Why don't we call it what it is? It's a criminal empowerment zone. It's a slaughter zone. If you want your child to be safe and educated, don't ask for more money to be stolen from the public so that teachers can be paid more. Don't request that there be more guards at school or metal detectors. Think about removing your child from the mental and physical dangers and pitfalls of being the subject of public indoctrination. Guys, our kids are our future, and those who have a hand in molding their hearts and minds are the values that will emerge triumphant in the years ahead. If you enjoy this content, subscribe to my backup channel, subscribe here, hit the bell notification icon, grab a shirt, support the channel on Patreon, and share this message with everybody you care about. Also, leave your thoughts about public indoctrination for the world, the Google Thought Police, and CPS in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow banned video. Guys, thanks for watching. I create at least one new video every day. If you get something out of this content and you want to be alerted when I upload new material, subscribe to High Impact Vlogs, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, and share it with everybody you know. Because the specter of censorship and termination looms over channels like mine, be sure to subscribe to my free private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. And if you think it's worth helping the cause of truth here on this channel, you can support my work on Patreon or PayPal, or you can grab a hard-hitting shirt from the most politically incorrect shirt store on the planet. There are over 100 kick-ass designs, and I'm adding new ones every week. All these links are in the description and in the pinned comment. Remember, don't just believe anything and keep questioning everything. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored video.